The EZbass audio tracker is a powerful tool for turning melodic recordings into MIDI for use with EZbass sound libraries. It's even useful if you already have a good sounding bass recording, because you might decide that when it's time to mix, you want to change out the instrument. And that's exactly the situation that I have here in this project. Here I have a DI of a fretted bass, and I'll go through the process of using the audio tracker to convert it to the Fretless EBX. So first, here's what the track sounds like as is. Alright, I've created an instrument track in Logic, and I've loaded EZbass with the Fretless EBX expansion. Next, I'll go to the Audio Tracker tab and choose the Import option and select the DI bass file that's in this session. You could also record directly into the Tracker tab with the Toontrack Audio Sender plugin if you want. Once you import the file, EZbass will show this window where you can select the type of audio file, the tempo, and the types of articulations that you want to include. Since I have the tempo set in Logic, I'll leave this option selected. And there you go. You can see that EZbass has captured all the notes in the recording and categorized the different types of articulations and slides. I'll first lower the amount of notes threshold because this is a pretty clean recording, so most of the triggers are probably accurate. Then I'll set the audio balance all the way to the right so that none of the original audio comes through the tracker because I still have the active DI track in Logic, and I'll use that fader instead. Now I'll play back the track and check that all the triggers are there and adjust the articulations if I need to. Okay, so here I can see that there's a very low-level trigger below the amount threshold, but it does need to be there. So I'll open the Articulations view, select the Add Remove Trigger tool, and hover over the spot where the trigger should be. When you click with this tool, it adds a trigger at the detection point. And with the Articulations view open, I could change the type of sound if I wanted, but it's correct, so I'm going to leave it as is. Alright, here's another trigger that's below the threshold. I'll again use the Add Trigger tool to add this in. I'll fast forward a bit because I just go through the same process where I add a few triggers where necessary. Now that everything's edited in Tracker, let's hear the playback before I add the MIDI to the song track and make any additional changes. To get this MIDI out of the Tracker tab and into the grid editor so that I can make further changes, I'll click the Add MIDI to Toontrack button. I'm also going to change the preset from the standard DI to the Paladin preset. If I wanted to change the sound or the amount of chorus in this preset, I would go to the Bass tab and adjust these controls. Here's a quick demo of what the new preset sounds like. Okay, back in the grid editor, the first thing that I want to do is add some vibrato to the notes around the 11th bar. Vibrato is really easy to add, and all you have to do is select the notes and then choose a vibrato option from the note menu. I'll choose the option to add vibrato for the entire note, and then I'll make a custom edit by dragging around the breakpoints to create a fade in and fade out of the vibrato. Since I'm using the fretless bass, I may as well take advantage of it, and I'm going to add a fretless trick where I slide into a note with pitch bend. I'm going to first take this note down an octave by selecting the note and then pressing Option, Shift, and the down arrow. Then I'll extend the note all the way to the next note and mute the top one for now. I'm then going to add pitch bend so that it sounds like I'm sliding into the note like you would on a fretless bass. The center of the line in the pitch bend value editor represents the same pitch as the MIDI note. If I move the line all the way up or down, it will shift the note by one whole tone up or down. So here I want it to sound like I'm sliding into an A and then back down to a G. So I'll start with the breakpoints down at a G, move them up to an A in the center, and finally back down to the G. I'll do something similar on the note an octave above, but here I'll start at an A and then shift down to a G to be in unison with the lower note. And then it's just a matter of adjusting the breakpoints to fit the tempo. The last thing that I'll do is go through the bass MIDI and manually quantize a bit to make it fit with the drums more. I'm doing this manually by adjusting some of the notes to the grid, but not all of them because I want to keep the original feel as much as I can. You could also select groups of notes and use the global quantize feature at the top of the grid editor. Okay, here's the final version of the track with the Fretless EBX. Thanks for watching, and make sure to download your trial version of EZbass at Toontrack.com.